Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We've got Chef Pat and Eric here from Hollerbach German Restaurant.
It's working today. I probably should have notified all clients that I've been slapping this megaphone around. It is working. It is loud. There we go.
So I was just at Hollerbach's for dinner with my wife.
You go there a lot.
3 weeks ago.
You go there a lot.
And
I got messaged.
I think you undereat, and then you freak out, and you're like, I gotta have a meat shank. I gotta have like some grub. I gotta get some meats in me.
I was up in Sanford, and then I told Chris, "Oh, let's go to Hollerbach's for dinner. Let's treat ourselves."
Oh yeah.
And then I had that delicious lamb shank.
You may be telling me what I want to do with my wife tonight because I am kidless. Maybe
pork shank, Tom. Pork shank.
Pork shank.
You gotta shank it.
Shank. It's called Eisbein. Eisbein. So I mean, if you're looking for a proper dinner, Eisbein and a beer, I mean, you're like, man. I mean, why am I not eating
Can
like this?
Can you describe, Chef, like the process of that to like people that have never had it? I've had it. I know now Tom has finally had it.
Yeah,
it's
a skinless pork shank. So think of like an ossobuco. You can get lamb or veal. Ours is pork.
Okay.
It comes from right here-ish on the pig.
By the way, pork my favorite meat.
Yeah.
It's the most flavorful to me.
Chef Pat pointed at a tattoo on his arm.
I've got and then it's braised until it's tender, and then we kind of like pan fry it so it gets super crispy on the outside.
But then it's placed on a bed of mashed potatoes and sauerkraut.
The heaven and earth mashed potatoes, which are dairy free, but they have apples in them and bacon and onions in them. And the sauerkraut, which also has bacon and apples and onions in it. We go through this every time. There's a big theme with the German food.
It's just a kicked up,
and then
flavorful. Oh yeah,
and then the spicy mustard.
My mouth is watering too. It's so good.
It's delicious. It is certainly ultimate German comfort food.
Besides schnitzel. Is probably one of our #1 seller entrees.
Really?
Yeah,
it's like our premium dish. Like you this is your special occasion dish. You know, this is our best.
This is what Dad gets when you bring Dad in for his birthday. Father's Day weekend, we definitely have to stock up on those things.
I'm really proud of you. Normally you wouldn't do that, but you must have been feeling yourself. And after your accomplishment, you've been working out a lot, dude. That's a perfect dinner for you. You go there and celebrate.
So good.
Go there and
honestly,
celebrate.
Crystal got recognized, and you've lost so much weight that they're like, "Oh my God, is that Tom?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's Tom." Because they recognized Crystal before they recognized you.
Crystal's there with her brother that has leukemia.
Crystal's there with that sick man.
Yeah, he's got Ozempic face.
Look at that man. That looks like a man who bicks his pubes.
I got to figure this out because
No, it looks nice. You just got to be like this for a while.
No, but you
and then people will accept that you are that.
No, but you
put the bear suit back on.
You start looking too weird.
What do you mean weird?
You see your skeleton in your head.
Well, you should. I mean, you should see your facial structure isn't a bad thing.
No, but it's not.
I mean, it's nice to have a chin, right?
Yeah, but it's they're looking weird. You're like, what the hell's up with this guy? I say that to people when they're like, why is this guy so skinny?
They got a shot for it now. If you get it 4 times a year, you won't get AIDS.
So I saw a news article that it blew my mind because I was like, that is a lot.
That is a lot.
It was talking about like Hollerbach and when you guys started in 2001, and then there was like now Hollerbach serves 10,000 people a week, and I was like 10,000.
That's crazy.
I was like, I couldn't have.
Don't say. Yes.
Because then I was like,
holy schnitzel.
Yeah. I'm like,
perfect.
that's a lot of people that come through Hollerbach, and then it kind of made sense because with Uber Keller and just the size of how big the restaurant has grown, it's like and then even like I was there on a weekday, a random like Tuesday or whatever, and it was packed, and I'm like, and I know it's slammed on the weekend, so I'm like, it makes sense. But 10,000 seemed like crazy to me, but that's where it's at now, huh?
Yeah.
and all that, and people still really haven't figured. The locals have figured it out, but the upstairs is still like the hidden gem.
You can still walk right in there most of the time on Friday and Saturday nights.
No wait up there. It's kind of a different menu. We got German tapas going on. Get your beer, get started there, and then
still
get
your
table.
fix in a different way though.
So with all those people, we still have some secrets hiding.
Yeah, there you go.
So speaking of Uberkeller, I also read that you could rent out Uberkeller for private events, which I saw on.
You can rent out anything, but yeah, definitely the upstairs, the Uberkeller.
Yeah.
That's a good option for corporate parties or birthday parties.
Was it hold 80 people?
If the weather's perfect, you get 120 people with the rooftop deck. We 80 because you can fit everybody inside, and if it's nice, you can expand to the outside.
The reason why I mentioned that is I know like company holiday parties are coming up as we go into August now. I mean,
we only did one of those, right? We did one of those when we were like a true company, and then we chased off all our employees.
No,
it's gonna be pretty grim this year.
Now I get my Tom and Dan at the end of the big table dream.
It's gonna be pretty grim when we're sitting at the knights table. You at one end and me at the other end. Just where is everybody? I don't know.
Let's bring back everybody. Put them all just around the table.
We're gonna have a toady come dressed like a Hawaiian Dracula.
We did it at Manny's when it was here in Baldwin because we could just walk to it from there. We thought it'd be like an easy place to do it, and we did it there, and it was just a giant cluster. I mean, it was so bad.
Well, I don't know what the hell.
We did two. We did like 1.5. We did one there, and then one time we took Sam and Ross to Ale House. One time. So we got to do it right this year.
Let's talk about the Chef's Night coming up on August 15th. And you can book this at Hollerbach.com.
Yeah.
And
live right now.
Yeah,
on the front page.
It just went up, and this is a special Chef's Night because
I think this would be the one you want to go to.
It's Chef Pat's birthday. So are you when it's your birthday, Chef's Night?
He's gonna be naked. That's what I
enjoy. Only an apron.
Exactly.
Maybe
food
like
is all the same.
Old school Chef Boyardee toque flop to the side.
Has that been cleared with HR?
I am HR that night, actually. But yeah, so my birthday's actually that Sunday, but that's my birthday week, so I like to celebrate all week because,
that's what people do now. Yeah, you do a birthday week or a month even sometimes.
Might even put my Cash App up on my Facebook.
Yeah.
So buy me birthday shots this year.
Yeah, there you go.
Never. But yeah, we're doing a Florida German themed because I'm 6th generation Floridian and I just love all the local stuff that we can get. So I'm going to try to keep it close to home and do some German Floridian fusion, maybe some not decided yet, alligator schnitzel or spiny lobster schnitzel.
I was going to say, can you make an alligator schnitzel?
You can make anything a schnitzel.
Okay,
you just got to pound it flat and fry it, right?
So you can deep fry anything.
I think alligator would work, right?
Right. Like I said, it's either going to be alligator or spiny lobster tail for the schnitzel, and that's what I got to figure out.
A spiny lobster tail schnitzel sounds pretty good too, man.
For sure.
That sounds real good. It's going to be rich.
Yeah.
That's going to be super flavorful. Yeah, I like this, man.
So
this will be super fun.
We'll have a few courses. Everything will be paired. I'm going to try to get just as local beer. We've got a lot of breweries in Sanford, so I might just go Sanford. But there are some other stuff that I like, and I know Eric likes too.
I got some cocktail ideas I'm working on.
Nice. All right.
Just trying to keep it as Florida/German as possible, and have some fun with it.
And now, obviously, we're going into August, and then we're being right there into fall, and that's where you guys shine with Octoberfest.
When does it start to pick up?
3 months ago.
Has it? Yeah. Has it been has it been earlier and earlier every year that you guys have to try and plan it?
Yeah. So we're actually on our way after this. We're going to check out a possible new one for this year.
Nice.
They try to get locked down January, February for most of these events because polka acts get pretty tied up.
Yeah.
Eric, you have more insight, I know.
Yeah, the big kickoff we're doing at the restaurant though is September 21st. That's the same day that they is the start in Munich.
Oh,
and
nice.
so we will have a keg tapping.
We got our ceremonial kegs.
Yeah, we're looking for celebrities to tap the keg if you guys want to spill beer all over yourselves.
No,
You guys know
I've
anybody?
never done that, but is that where you hammer the wood?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
And-
always wanted to. I'll do it.
And
yeah,
it always
put me-
ends in disaster.
Yeah,
it's
put me
amazing.
down. I don't think I have anything going on. But
The last 6 or 7 years we've been able to get the ceremonial kegs. It's been a complete S show every time, and it's just great. Beer foams everywhere, and people love it.
yeah, it just explodes. I've always wanted
Yeah.
to do that. And you hit it.
The beer starts pouring. People just like grab their cups and just throw it underneath the
And
beer
every year
that's
they're
just
like, "Oh
flowing
no,
everywhere."
we got the right hammer and the right tap this year. It's going to be fine." Whack! 37 whacks later.
The hammer breaks. You know,
Well, because it's a thing that you first have never done before,
Yeah.
like hammering, a tap into a wooden keg.
Yeah.
You've never done it.
No. I've
So
always-
there's no way you're gonna do it perfect. The
It
first
sounds
time.
very easy.
Yeah, sometimes I do see like the Germans when they're doing it because they've done it for years, and it seems like they have special
one
equipment.
whack.
Yeah, the guy goes bam, and then he just pours a perfect beer. And he's
Like the dude
you
that
know,
cuts the pretzel
we're all-
immediately or exactly in half.
Yeah.
No, I've seen that on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Oh, the show where they have to try and look at it, eyeball it, and cut it.
Half, yeah, and then they weigh it, and I'm like, "Oh, you got it perfect."
It's also such a stressful game
We
show.
should do that on this show because I feel like maybe not one cup, but I feel like I could cut it, look at it, and then sprinkle a little here and there and get it pretty damn
Okay,
close.
hold on, Chef Pat. How close do you think you can get it and do a pretzel perfect halves?
Like for weight, I bet I could get within a half an ounce.
Okay,
Whoa.
okay. We should bring in a scale
Yeah,
and
this is
then
where Tom
a
says,
Hollerbach
let's see if
pretzel.
he's a liar.
Yeah, to see, because you being a chef has to give you a leg up on cutting something.
You probably
perfectly, right?
portion protein the most, right?
For sure. I used to be spot on at like cutting meat. Like if you do it a lot, you don't have to weigh and check yourself a lot, but you still do. I was always pretty proud of my meat.
It's like us with commercials. Like I can like hit a 30 or a minute
Yeah, you're right.
just by
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'll do an ad and then we'll go stop. I'll be like, "What is that?" You're like 59. I'm like, "Yeah, of course it is, because
Yeah.
I'm the best."
So you can take a cut of meat and then cut. If I ask you like, hey, I need 6 ounces. And you could probably get it pretty close, right? Like, so you can tell by that's about a 6 or a 10.
You tell by how the meat feels in your hand.
Yeah. That's pretty
And then
interesting.
you use I've seen guys use their hands and they're like, "Well, I know my hand is about the size of a normal."
Well, and so like schnitzels, for instance, I know the pork loin, and it depends on how girthy it is, But 2 fingers, 3 fingers, whatever, you can kind of tell. But there's a standard for most. Just like whiskey, we use fingers to measure stuff.
Yeah.
I've always used fingers to measure stuff. Get you into trouble sometimes too.
FTD, baby,
Yeah.
FTD.
Get you in trouble too. I've used it to measure
Stop.
relationships.
Stop.
Oh,
So anything else coming up
he's never
in
said
the next
a
couple
full
weeks?
stop. You've never just looked at me and stop.
Well, yeah, because that is, I don't know
That
who's
was a
listening.
little harsh. I've never just been stop.
Yeah. Maybe like the higher,
Yes, sir.
higher ups
Yeah.
are like, let's check out what
Next
they're
he's gonna-
talking about
yeah.
on our advertisement for our restaurant.
Next, you're gonna give me a
Their
knock it
fingers.
off. Knock it off.
So anything else coming up that we should discuss?
I mean, it's not coming up soon, but it's the thing we're working on the most right now.
All right, let's.
Yeah,
what
that
is
is it's a teaser. Tom and Dan for getting the first
What?
announcement. But every year we've had this Krampus festival, and this year we're taking it to like the next level. So
Oh yeah.
Krampus and Saint Nick are having a real problem this year, and there's only one way to settle that, and that's in the wrestling ring. So we're gonna have a holiday throwdown this year on December 5th for Krampus night.
Hold
yeah.
on.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
having Krampus fight
Saint Nick.
Saint Nick.
Right, yeah.
For sure.
And where are you doing this?
Right in Magnolia Square.
Who is doing your wrestling play-by-play?
You know. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because this guy knows. He knows.
So Zwain, that DJs at
Yeah.
West End,
I
and
love
we did, what do you call it? Play-by-played a show in January together.
Yes, I remember that.
So I think the plan was to probably do that again.
I love it, dude. That's.
Okay,
I'm coming
so
to that.
what-
I'm coming to that.
What's the date of this?
December 5th.
Yeah.
December 5th.
Yeah.
Krampus versus Saint Nick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring my sons to
They
this.
would love it. Dude. I'll come with you. We'll just make it a boys' day.
Is there a wrestling
I'll bring
ring?
Maisie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you're setting a wrestling ring.
Are you gonna wrap each turnbuckle like a candy cane?
We will now. That's an amazing idea.
Yeah, they gotta be candy canes. They
Hold
gotta
on.
come off.
It's not that good of an idea.
You need to. I'm a genius when it comes to this stuff. You gotta have Krampus hit Saint Nick with a giant sugar cookie that's shaped like a trash can lid.
Maybe a North Pole hardcore match.
Yeah, or North Cole sounds
North
good
Cole.
too. I mean, that's good. Like you're
Both
full of.
work.
Look at this. You're just spilling over with ideas,
Yeah.
Chef Pat.
So
This is December
Also,
5th.
how do you describe the music? Is it a Norse metal band or something like that?
Yeah. We have a Norse metal band.
A
They're
local
gonna
band.
open the show.
You're gonna get a wizard metal band to play while Santa Claus and
Yeah,
Krampus
that-
are fighting. That's what you love.
hold on, this is shaping up to be the best event I've ever heard.
Like Tom went through a phase where I think you had to like kind of because you were obsessed with it, but he would only listen to Sonata Arctica, Dragon
So I think they're called like
Force.
Varinger or Varanger or something like that.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah,
out there
Varinger.
is going to know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
And
they're
they're
a
local?
they're a local band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, English Dave at the restaurant, his
Can we
stepson
get him?
is
Can we
in
get
it.
him in here to talk about their wizard metal band or their
Uh,
Nordic?
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm all in
Now-
on this.
Now,
I'll dress like an elf, and I'll be like a
So
manager. I'll be like a manager for Saint Nick.
if we can get the Little People Wrestling League to come in and dress like elves and fight
We know those guys.
a live reindeer. Now, I mean, how much
What
money
about-
do you guys want?
What about EJ painted like a reindeer?
All right,
Oh, I
I'll
was
take
gonna
that.
say no connection, but a reindeer roast afterwards.
Yeah.
Free to the community.
Okay, what if it was 5 little elves versus the Grinch?
All right, okay, yeah, I like that.
This is
Those
so
are
much
called
better.
Who's, I believe, right?
Oh
Down in
yeah, we
Whoville.
could do Who's versus Grinch.
Okay, all right.
And I could be king of the Who's. I'm the enforcer Who.
So who do we get to be the Grinch?
Jim Colbert.
Okay, all right.
He's the natural
Yeah,
Grinch.
yeah.
That guy sucks.
Yeah, we'll paint
He's
it,
terrible.
paint him
This
green.
coming together.
Yeah, you don't even need to paint him green. Just look
Ruin
at him.
the show.
He's turning green.
So this is gonna be awesome, and is it gonna be a free event for people to
Yeah.
come?
Whenever we do an event at the restaurant, we rarely charge for those kind of things.
Yeah, we do too, and it's not working. Yeah, we do the same
Yeah,
model, and it
yeah.
sucks.
Oh, man.
It straight sucks.
You know, it's better than free money.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this
Damn
thing
it.
sounds like it could
We
print some
messed up.
money.
Yeah. I mean, we're building like a $35 ticket.
Yeah, you're
So
right,
we
you are.
also we'll be doing Krampus beer, and are we doing
All right.
Saint Nick beer also this year?
I think Deviant
Last year-
Wolf,
yeah.
the brewery in town.
Get your
they're doing
picture made
Saint
with
Nick.
sexy Mrs. Claus.
There actually is probably going to be a ladies wrestling event also that night with Mrs. Claus versus maybe a Mrs. Krampus type thing.
Yeah.
Oh
really?
my God! Loser takes off their top.
No, come on. No, this is a family event.
Let me see them cramp bitties.
And then
Come on.
Loggerhead Distillery, which is downtown Sanford,
Loggerhead?
they're working on a Krampus themed schnapps for us.
No, really.
What?
So we'll have Krampus beer, Saint Nick beer,
Do
and
a
then
shot
Krampus
off the
schnapps.
ice luge.
The Schnapski. We have multiple Schnapskis at the restaurant.
Oh,
That's-
yeah,
Get a T-shirt signed by Mike Busey.
No,
Gonna have to get
And
with
the
you to cut a
Busey
promo.
Beauties.
I really want to still sell sausages out there at the Sausage Castle one day. The Sausage Kings
Ooh,
of
that would be
Sanford.
so great.
Eric's against it.
He's
so
against it. You're against
Yeah.
it.
I got to listen to
okay.
him. He's let us pretty good so
Yeah,
far.
he has.
Yeah.
He's got good ideas.
The
Good
guests,
strategy.
The guests have no money. Just from what I look at.
This is fantastic. Well, I'm really pumped about this, man. Like this is gonna be awesome. I gotta
Yeah,
start
yeah.
buying some elf costume stuff.
Yeah. So
Hardest part to find is the shoes.
again, to find out everything Hollerbach has going on, if you just follow them on social media, that's the easiest way. Because I was going down their Facebook and just looking at Meat Bingo and
Yeah.
all the different events and the live music.
Much like most, of the businesses in Sanford, there's tons of things happening. So you really, if you just follow them, you'll get right in the pipeline and you'll
We
find out
just
what's
got on the
happening.
TikToks too. We've got the Hollerbach German restaurant and the Holler Block.
Yeah, it's kind of like a
which is-
staff account.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And here's what I suggest: before this big fighting event, go to the Outfitters and get yourself a full regalia.
Yeah. Get
Oh,
the
yeah.
hat,
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the lederhosen.
In Sanford or Oviedo Mall.
Yeah.
I forget about Oviedo Mall. That's
Yeah.
right.
We just moved to the Dillards end of the mall, so we're closer to the Dillard side.
Oh, nice.
And into a little bit bigger of a space. So
Awesome.
I used to go do all of my back to school at Dillard's. My mom would take me there, and she'd say, you have $75 to buy the fun stuff you want. And you can decide to go all Arizona, or like you would go with the cheaper brands, or you could take all 75 and buy one pair of Guess jeans because you think that's going to really move the needle with the ladies.
That one good Tommy Hilfiger polo.
Yeah, you did it too. So I bought one good pair of Guess jeans. And I didn't get the red label ones. I got the green label ones because the red label ones were for girls and the green label ones were for boys. And I got them, and then I pegged like my jeans because that's what you did in the 90s. You'd peg your jeans. And I pegged my jeans, and I came out of my bedroom. I had a No Fear shirt on with the sleeves rolled up and cuffed. I had my jeans pegged, had my surfer hair combed, and I believe my dad called me a naughty word. He hated it.
Well, Chef Pat, Eric, thanks so much for coming by.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you
guys.
guys. We
Thanks.
love you.
Again, Hollerbach's.com. It's Hollerbach's German restaurant in downtown Sanford.
Yes, sir.
And we will see you on Monday.
Awesome, guys.
Perfect.
Thank you for
Awesome.
doing that. That event sounds
Yeah, I forgot about that shit, Eric.
amazing.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, they're gonna ask us something else. I gotta have something to say.
no,
Well, that was, I mean, I'll be there at that thing. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That'll be silly.
Well, we'll be talking about that before, obviously.
I'm sure we'll have a huge contingent of BDMs that will want to go. We have a lot of wrestling fans, and all those guys are going to want. I'll go and dress. I'll wear a red and green luchador mask. It'll be fun.
Well, and everybody dresses as Krampus anyways. We usually have no less than like 10 to 12 people that come in full Krampus suits on their own.
It's way more than that.
That's why I said no less than. I'm trying to be conservative
Friday
here.
2.
This Friday, too, yeah.
But yeah, so this event just lends itself to that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Every year we have this one guy who comes in, and he is an adult, but he is a small adult, and he comes dressed up as a child. He has like the red full length underwear that you see in like the Krampus pictures.
Oh,
He has a
yeah.
little butt flap and everything like that, and he runs around and
the
taunts all
union suit or
the
whatever.
Krampuses and like tries to get them to chase him. It's just I don't know. It's this thing, man.
That's
It's
real
crazy.
weird. I like
It
that.
makes me real happy.
I like that. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Embrace it.
Yeah.
That is super funny.
Well, thanks for giving us some scoop on that, y'all. That's fun.
Yeah. Maybe.
Have a great rest of your day.
Appreciate it.
I'll see you soon. Love you guys.
Yeah. Thanks.
Hope everything goes well, and we'll be in touch. Eight, 19, 24, 20 minutes. All right, let's do some finagling here. Put that back up. Put that back up. Boo-doo, boo-doo, boo-boom, boo-doo, bop, ba-bow, boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Okay. That's pretty funny. And then you have to stuff him down the chimney like a casket match. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny.
There may be children in a wicker basket.
Oh yeah, because that's what happens. Yeah.
So yeah, some of the employees' kids have already volunteered.
Yeah. I bet May would like to get dragged to hell.
My kids want to dress up like demons.
Yeah. Yeah. She likes that kind of stuff. She likes the more adult aspect.
Oh, bro, dad level, congrats, man, on her dancing.
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm not doing anything. It's all her, but.
You are though.
Well, yeah.
You're supporting her and letting her be amazing.
Yeah, you're right. I do support it.
Not to stifle kids.
I mean, letting her do her thing, and also, like, what I'm most proud of, Pat, is hiding my resentment for not getting to spend time with her. I complained to Tom, and almost Tom only. I don't do it in front of her ever. I would crush my heart if she knew that, like, I'm like, oh, man, I'm bored. But she doesn't need to know that. She doesn't need to know that.
Or dad here.
Because I am too sensitive about it. Andrea and Tom are right. They're like, come on.
I'm the same too. inside.
Yeah. Exactly.
Y'all be good, man.
Cheers, y'all. That was funny. That's gonna be fun as hell.
Yeah.
Goddamn Christmas wrestling event, and the weather probably be really nice too.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Well, I'm gonna keep saying that because the weather is so poor now, and the storms are gonna be so bad, and it's so hot that I'm assuming we're gonna get the same thing but cold. We're probably not, but you tell yourself that, and it gives you something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Even though it's not real. You want to?
So we'll start Friday, and then we did 22.
Yeah, I can
do 20.
I can do the original story that I had that we didn't even get to with Pat because we went to Krampus.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we could do that, and then we can. Do we have some ACT?
We have emails.
Okay,
we have new emails.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to start?
Yeah.
Here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
So, what did
Sorry,
you see?
did I leave you hanging there?
No.
Normally I say a little bit more or something there. I don't know.
No. Did you see what was the story on Reddit that you were talking about?
You know, Reddit has increasingly been fun for us. There's a good contingent of people on there. You can just search for /Tom and spelled out Tom and Dan. But this is from a Reddit user who says, in honor of my favorite bit, I give you this. Top 5 restaurants I wish were back in Orlando. So he's kind of playing off of the Drunky the Bear top 5.
Okay.
But he put number 5, El Pollo Loco. Never been.
I don't remember that.
I'm guessing it would have been like a Pollo Tropical, which I'm a huge fan of.
Okay.
And I used to eat at Pollo Tropical a lot because they had this thing called a Tropa Chop. I don't know if they have it anymore. But it was
they
chicken.
still got the chop.
It's chicken, rice, and beans. And it was cheap. It was like, I want to say it was like $3.99, and you get this big old bowl. So if you wanted to eat, I guess, air quotes, pseudo-healthy, chicken, rice, and beans doesn't sound as bad as Hamburg. Chicken dog, you know.
Yeah.
So I used to do a lot of that. I think it's like that. Number 4, he put Village Inn. That one makes me laugh because the last time I ate at Village Inn, I was going to Flagler College in St. Augustine, Florida. They have a Village Inn. It's no different than like a Denny's or a Perkins. And Village Inn, if I remember correctly, their claim to fame is breakfast food, and they serve pies.
Okay, so it is like a Perkins.
Yeah, Village Inn and Perkins are the type of restaurant where the restaurant serves primarily an older clientele and a breakfast clientele, but they also give you pies.
Okay.
They're pie folks.
All right, yeah. And then there's some sort of glass case up by the register.
Yes.
Where you could buy
and you look at the pies.
Yeah.
And there's usually like a sad waitress up there that's like all stressed out, and she's doing something, and then she'll look at you and be like, well, give me 1 second, honey. I'll be right with you. And she's adding something up and looking at it, and then some dude comes by and puts a couple pies in the cooler.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's Village Inn. Then we've got his number 3 is Steak and Ale.
Okay, yeah.
I think that was Andrea, my wife's favorite. She was a Steak and Ale gal.
Yeah, I remember the Steak and Ale down in Miami.
Never went.
I used to go. It's funny. The Wizard, my buddy, the Wizard, used to work at Steak and Ale when we were in high school.
Interesting.
And he used to tell me that how he used to go to the back freezer and fill up a crock. Like, you know, the crocks that they put on like buffets or whatever?
The brown, it's a little brown plastic bowl that has a handle where you get soup in it.
Well, no, I'm talking about like an actual big square vat that you put food in a buffet.
Oh, okay, like a chafing dish.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think maybe it's not called a crock.
No, that's fine. Go with crock.
Anyway, he's fill it up with foam from the keg, because you'd have to put it on the side and spray the foam in there.
Yeah.
And then it'd settle into beer.
And you could get drunk at
And
work.
then you could drink out of it, yeah. And then apparently the other teens would hide that in the back, and then they'd fill it up multiple times.
Fill it up with
drink
foam, let it settle down.
Just drink it all. And then I remember like going to Steak and Ale with family members and then playing the tabletop Pac-Man machine that they had in the bar.
Yeah.
Which I always wanted one for our own, for here at T&D Media. The flat were 2 seats on.
You can buy them.
Yeah, there probably some vintage,
Well, they make
tabletops out there.
that One Up company. They started like making like cheaper versions of them, but you can find them on those video game websites.
Yeah, I want the old school
I know,
one.
with the glass on the top.
Yeah.
Where you can put like a highball on it, like that you would have in like an old bar in a seafood restaurant.
Yes,
It'd be like Donkey Kong or Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah, and it's flat.
Yeah.
And
you'd sit.
And you're looking
You'd
down.
sit there and smoke your cigarette and play Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Like Steak and Ale was one of Andrea's. Another one of Andrea's, Sweet Tomatoes. But I've heard they're making a comeback.
Are they?
I had heard that Sweet Tomatoes is going to roll back out at the end of 24. So we should.
What kind of restaurant is Sweet Tomatoes? I have no idea.
Salad bar. COVID killed it.
Okay.
Like, we
so
knew.
Is it like a health style restaurant?
Not
all
really.
salad?
No, not really
Okay.
healthy. I think they do a little bit of that. Just think fresh. They try to do like fresh salad bars. So their claim to fame is mega salad bar with like 17 different kinds of pasta salad. You get like all the different lettuces. You get the microgreens. You get the Caesar lettuce. You get the regular iceberg lettuce. You get all the, you get raw mushrooms, cooked mushrooms. You get all of it, right?
Yeah.
You go through that line first, and then they give you your salad in a cup. And then when you round the corner, there's a whole nother buffet of like, they have like pizza or flatbreads, and then they have soups. They have like a bunch of vats of like chili, chicken noodle, cheddar broccoli. It's like an old person buffet style soup and salad restaurant.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but my wife loves it, and so does Maisie. Maisie, for a while, had we not had the current come along, Maisie would have been very upset. Her favorite restaurant was Sweet Tomato Salad Bar. That was her jam.
So that no longer exists?
No, because of COVID and everybody, like putting their hands in there.
Oh.
And, you go up there and get your cornbread and your muffins and, that kind of stuff. No, they were like, it shut down.
And then you think it's coming back, or
there have been news articles saying that it is coming back. I mean, salad bars are back.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You go to any like good barbecue restaurant. My wife Andrea absolutely loves a barbecue restaurant that has a great salad bar.
Okay.
That's like if you walk into the barbecue restaurant and to the left is a large salad bar with the plate at the front and everything's chilled. She likes a salad bar, and then she'll get like a side of pulled pork. Oh, she loves that. Absolutely loves that. This guy's number one, though, is Quincy's. That was his number one.
All right.
For restaurants that have gone to the wayside. I do remember Quincy's. I can't tell you how many times I ate there. Not that many. The yeast rolls were great. Never had a steak there.
I don't remember Quincy's, and that must have been Central Florida thing.
I think it kind of was a South thing. Yeah, Quincy's was like your quintessential steakhouse, and what was weird about the steakhouse is that for a while I thought all steaks came on a big black plastic plate that had a metal insert. And the metal insert at these steakhouses, these like Quincy style steakhouses, they would always put the steak on the metal, and it kind of made it look like fancier. But no fine dining restaurant does that. Like if you go to Fleming's, you go to go to Christner's on Lee Road.
Was the metal to like continue to cook the steak?
I have no idea. I don't know why they did it, but you'd get it was a black plastic plate.
Yeah.
And then the insert was a metal plate.
Yeah. And the steak went on the metal.
And then they put the little plastic colored little stabber in there that'd be like, my dad's of course would be like bright red for like or gray for well done.
Yeah.
My dad would get like a burnt steak with a gray stick, well done steak. So disgusting.
Do you remember, like, as a kid, because we had nothing to play with at restaurants, I remember playing with a lot of tiny plastic swords and umbrellas.
Yeah, that's why my mom and dad will order me a Shirley Temple, because it would come with a little sword. Yeah. If you go to a seafood restaurant, they're like, what do kids like? Pirates. Pirates have swords. Swords go through cherries. Give it to the kid.
Yeah, my sons have never played with a tiny plastic sword.
I would collect those, and if I found one that I really like, I like the ones that were red or black because I thought they looked more believable, and it would have a hilt that would protect your fingers.
Yeah.
If you were a real, like if you were a pirate, you'd have a hilt on your sword. I think that's what it's called. That would protect your knuckles from getting cut.
Yeah.
But that's not what a ninja would have. So I would go home and use my dad's nail clippers to clip off the arm protection, and I'd clip off the side so it looked like a samurai sword. And then I'd use it for my G.I. Joes. I'd use it for Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and any of the G.I. Joes that were ninjas. They would all get little swords from Down the Hatch Seafood Restaurant. from my dad's whiskey drinks.
Yeah. You know,
always.
That's kind of
trashy. That's why no one can out-trash me.
That's made me sad that my sons never went through the phase of playing with like action figures, really. Because technology.
It's for old men, dude.
Yeah. It's just the screens were always better, and so they
May
just
still plays with
their
their dolls, so I get lucky sometimes.
Yeah, I guess maybe girls like the dolls, and but my sons just don't want to. They'll do it once we force them to stop looking at screens, but not really.
Go play with your analog toys.
Like it really was never a thing. Like I remember as a kid playing with G.I. Joes. And for hours, but again, it was the only option. So of course, like
it's all we had.
Yeah.
It is weird that kids don't do that. I had the largest collection of GI Joes, and I guess I would supplement. I would do both. Like I don't think kids do that now because video games are just too damn amazing.
Yeah, and there's so many options, because back when we were playing video games, we get tired of the ones we have and then move on.
Well, once you couldn't beat a level, and now most games, I don't think most games are for beating levels, and you've talked about your frustration with this.
Yeah.
Most games now are just time in.
Open world.
Yeah, it's just like how long can you sit there and change the color of your person's shirt?
Well, but also,
I can do that all day long.
You're just jumping from thing to thing or just traveling around an infinite world where it never gets, old, so, just, and then all the things in there are meant to be addictive to your brain. So it's just, of course, you just sit there for hours and hours.
You forget.
Never
you don't
get
even
tired.
know how long you're sitting there.
Here
are a few other restaurants that people added. The Bubble Room in Maitland, which became Buga de Beppo, but that place is out of business now too.
Well, it's moving. I
is
heard.
It moving?
Yeah. It's not out of it. They're just moving locations to that original Winter Park. Probably just because that real estate is sought after.
Super prime.
And then so they're probably just moving away, to a cheaper place.
We have Sunset Grill that was in Winter Park. I'm not familiar with that. Molly Malone's that was in Maitland. Prince of Wales that was in Winter Park. Scruffy's downtown. And Negrills, which was also downtown. Yeah, none of those. Did you ever have a restaurant or bar that was like you and Crystal's place, and boom, gone? Mine's about to relocate. Hideaway Bar.
Oh,
I love Hideaway Bar, which is weird because I'm not a Miami Dolphins fan. I guess I'd consider them my second team if I'm not following the Falcons, but that is my favorite bar in Orlando. I love that little bar. The ladies there are so old and nice and sweet. And they remember you, and they're so kind, and that bar's so tiny and so real bar.
Are they just moving across the street?
Yeah, but it's so fancy.
Yeah.
It's so fancy.
Dude, like a bigger.
Oh my God, it's nice. It doesn't even look. It's not even the same experience, really.
Yeah, well, that I'm sure that that's like for restaurant business owners, like changing your restaurant. And then you got your hardcores, your regulars that are probably like mad that it's changed. But you're just like a have to build.
You can't be mad at them. I think Lake Highland bought the property, and time marches on, and you are getting a nice new bar. I'm gonna give it a shot and be positive about it.
Yeah. It's just like, I want this place to be small and make
stinky.
less money. It was like the owner's like, I'm trying to run a business here.
Exactly.
Like, we're expanding.
I mean, in a weird way, they are like, I'm doing this for you to give you a better bar with better coolers and a better experience and maybe better food and, better parking. And
I've thought about that. That happens with everything, I think. And even imagine if somehow.
Oh, even this show, there will be people that are like, "You're talking about kids. I need you to talk about nudity and partying."
Well,
and I'm like, okay.
Not even that. Imagine if, just like ESPN bought Pat McAfee, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if, some other big media company was like, we want to buy Tom and Dan and make you guys bigger, like build you a better studio, whatever, and then our hardcore listeners would be bitching. Because they'd be like, this is against everything you started.
But we do
it.
We turn our backs on you guys.
We were because what is the person supposed to do? Be like, no, we refuse to make all this money.
I turn my back on you.
We're going to stay small and quaint.
I'll turn my back on anybody. I will turn my back on anybody faster than Jack Black. I am lightning fast at turning my back. I'll turn my back on anybody.
It's easy.
Yeah.
It's the easiest
So
thing to
it's the easiest
do.
thing to do.
Turning.
Another thing, too.
Yeah,
it's
and
turning,
you're ignoring.
I also like my back.
Which is easier.
I think I have a good back. I'm positive.
Yeah.
Easy for me to do.
Yeah. And also, I'll take any amount of money.
Yeah. Also,
if someone tries to give me a bunch of money for something, I'll do it.
You and I, natural-born salesmen, I think both of us have different qualities of being natural-born salespeople, right?
Yeah.
I would say that, which means we will sell you out. Easier than anyone. We're natural.
We're the natural sellouts.
We're the natural sellout. That's a great name for a new show, the natural sellout.
Yeah. Like if anybody, like let's say,
give me any scenario and I'll give you the answer.
Yeah. Like
sure.
the president of iHeart, right?
Okay.
Comes to us.
I don't know who that is.
And then they're like, we want you guys to, I know you talk a lot of about but we want you to go back.
Pro radio.
Yeah. Back to radio.
Yeah. And we want the narrative to be radio is more stronger than it's ever been.
Yeah. And we don't toe that line.
Yeah, and you guys will
and you have to say you're wrong.
Yeah.
You have to.
And the whole ad campaign is building radio back better, stronger than ever. And you're our guy.
Yeah. And then so you tout that or whatever.
It's a campaign.
Yeah, and then they tell us the price, and then we're like, we'll do it.
I'll do it. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. We'll say anything. For
I can say anything.
And then they're like, we also want you to promote scam businesses, like stuff that stealing people's money.
Yeah. Cash for gold, title lockdowns.
Yeah. All these different pyramid schemes. We'll do that too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt.
The right amount of money because anybody. I'm joking.
Yeah. No. We'll switch over to emails.
Yeah.
Because we don't want you to know how serious we actually are about that. This one is from Alex. He says, I heard you recently say you love it when we interact with the show. I also heard you reference the Wall Street Journal often. We were gifted the paper subscription years ago by my in-laws, and I've kept it since then. It's great, and I strongly recommend it to everyone, even if it makes Tom mad. Anyway, I just read this article regarding China's one-child policy and how it's affecting their current and future population. It's super interesting, and then he linked to the Wall Street Journal and the ad. When's the last time, or have you ever subscribed to the paper?
No.
Have you subscribed to anything? Have you ever? So the reason I kept that one, did you ever subscribe to a magazine ever? Surfer magazine when I was in my teens.
I told the story before on the show, but I subscribed to the Orlando Sentinel one time at Ace Hardware.
Yes, that guy got you. Wasn't it Tools up here?
Yeah.
And the guy got you. He was in the aisle. He was in the aisle, and he's like, sir.
Yeah, and then he worked for the Orlando Sentinel. This is like when they were trying to, I guess, save it. Which is kind of sad.
It was like 10 years ago, too, which is what's really sad.
And then they're like, sign up and we'll give you, a $5 gift card to Ace Hardware. And I was like, no, thank you. And he's like, please do it. And that's what got me. He's like, please, man, I'll give you 2 gift cards. Just do it, man. It'll help me. So that's what, because I was like, I don't read the newspaper. I can't even read.
You want me to blow your mind? Who's the person that reads the most that you know?
Andrea.
Yeah, Andrea.
Yeah.
Andrea, at one point when she was in high school, subscribed to 11 magazines.
11 magazines?
11 magazines, good.
Then
I did Surfer magazine. I did Soccer Digest.
Yeah.
Surfer and Soccer Digest. And then when I got older, this one's embarrassing because we do have clients in the lobby, but I'm just going to say it. I also subscribed to Playboy.
No, really?
For a hot minute. But I would use it for, I got a thumbs up. But I would use it for, because it was at a time when I was doing talk radio and most of the bigger articles would be in there. You know, like you would read it.
Yeah.
And it was
well, there was no
popular.
Yeah, there was nowhere else to get it. You know, it's like now it's just you search whatever you want. You know, it's funny too. Like I'm sure you get this. Like sometimes you'll get news sent to you, and then it's like, oh, if you want to read this article, you have to pay to subscribe to whatever.
Well, they give you just a little bit. You read a little bit, and then as you scroll down, they put an ad in front of you, and you can't read it anymore.
But then if you just cut and paste the title of whatever article and just put in Google, that article exists other places for free.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm guessing other people have figured this out. Like, if you did actually want to read,
well, it's like disruptors.
It's free.
My favorite are the guys on Reddit that are subscribed to Wall Street Journal. They go in, they copy the entire article, and then they just put it in the notes. They're like, here's the article. Like, they just go beyond the paywall. They steal the article and then put it out there.
Yeah.
Because, what are you going to do?
Yeah. I mean, like, who are the people subscribing to? And then you just forget about it, and it just goes on from,
BDM membership. All right.
All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Sorry for the delay. No worries. Good to see you guys. Where's that goatee? Oh, yeah, that's Friday. Sorry.
While they're working.
Friday.
Especially when they're talking about Quincy and Big Fat.
Quincy's, the big fat yeast roll, and we're talking about old Orlando.
Oh, yeah.
Restaurants that are no longer around. How you guys been?
Good, thank you.
Awesome.
Doing
Good to
our
see
summer
ya.
thing.
Nice, man. Is it going pretty good?
Yeah, so far so good.
Awesome.
People are loving life. People are loving Guinness.
Hey, that's
So
good. It seems like I was by there. It may have been last weekend. Because we were taking Maisie to her grandparents' house, and we did that, and then we're coming by the Science Center, and it was straight insanity in the parking garage. Like,
yeah.
it was a line, and they were lined up, and then I looked around, and it was starting to rain a little bit, and I was like, oh my God, this is like perfect.
It's just like I hate that people get stuck waiting in line, but I love to see the crowd.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Like, you want to, and it's not that. I mean, you guys move it along really fast, but it's one of those things where I look at it, I'm like, oh, buddy. Is that mostly for life? Is that
life in Guinness? Life in Guinness, and the fact that it's hot and rainy outside, and people want air conditioning and want to be inside.
Is Guinness performing better than you guys thought?
Guinness is hitting what we expected, because we had high expectations for it, but
it's also humongous, which
it
is
is
cool.
huge, and it is busy, and it appeals to all ages, which is like the formula for a great exhibit.
Yeah, for sure.
So no, it's we're very happy with Guinness.
Awesome.
Everybody's really digging life,
and
which
we were
is great
doing
to hear.
pretty good, I think, the last week of hitting the science of Guinness World Records.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They are wound up. It's the
because
science
we
of
were
Guinness
doing
World
it one
Records.
time, and then we kept saying Guinness, and I go, but it is the science. And I kept trying to.
Yeah, thank you.
No,
I get emails from the Guinness people, and it's like, our name is the science of Guinness
Right.
I'm
No,
like,
I know.
yes, thank you.
Luckily, we've had to do that so many times with clients about like, well, no, you have to say this, or you have to put Charles Ruttenberg Realty in there, or we're legally on the hook. Okay.
Yeah.
It's easy. That's
easy. I get you.
All right, y'all.
But and then we got Astrofest this weekend, so we got tons of fun happening.
Cool.
Okay.
Astrofest. Let me get y'all's cameras looking good. Astrofest. Boop.
Yeah, and I think,
Awesome. You good, dude?
Yep.
Would you like to start? Can it? If you guys want the headphones, you don't have to have them, but if you want them,
they're fine. I don't care that much.
Yeah, you don't need them.
I hear you from across the room.
I don't really listen. I just wait for my turn to talk.
We just point to you and you're ready to go.
Yeah, always. All right, Mr. Van.
Yeah.
Would you like to begin?
Yep.
Turn that off. All right, here we go. And 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Spencer and Jeff are here from the
Hey.
Orlando Science Center.
Oh,
Yeah, it's working.
I haven't seen
now.
that one yet.
Yeah, it's working now. Like, for a while, my megaphone was broken, and I wasn't able to give you guys a proper blast, and now I'm able to give you proper blasts.
I appreciate
and,
that.
Thank you. We feel blasted properly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got blasted. So there we go.
Now, before we talk about Astrofest going on this weekend, I want to say I'll report. I heard a report back from my sons and my wife, who went to the Science Center and saw the science of Guinness World Records and Life exhibit, and it blew their minds. They loved it. In fact, Max claimed to me he almost broke a world record.
That sounds like you. I mean,
which I was like, are you sure
What
about
does that sound like, guys?
apple
I
does
think
not
the-
He's like,
fall
I
far
almost
from the
broke a
tree.
world record. I'm like, I don't know. I mean,
You sure about that? Oh my God. Are you and Max gonna fight the most? Probably so, right? Because you and Tommy are too aligned.
But they loved it, and if you haven't checked it out, you have to go see it. And if you haven't checked out Life yet, I remember after we went to the science of the Guinness Book of World Records with Seth.
Yeah.
We went and Jeff took us down and checked out Life on the bottom floor, and it blew Seth's mind.
I
He
think it
loved
looks even better now because when we went, it was pretty early and everything was kind of settling. Now it's been going for a while, and there were like twice as many birds. The animals were way more like acclimated now. They're moving around a lot more.
Yeah.
The monkeys, I will never get. That's like I'll never get bored of just walking in and just seeing a monkey just run around in the ceiling.
yeah,
Like that's
open.
Yeah, just running
Hanging
around.
out.
Yeah.
You know, it is amazing, and people really they have a hard time comprehending that life is actually like its own biome. It is living and growing. So every time you come, it's going to be a little bit different. And you nailed it. The foliage is growing. We're getting more fish. We're getting more birds. The critters like the sloth and the monkeys are getting a lot more comfortable being in there,
Yeah,
so
like
they're
I
out a
noticed
lot more.
I know this sounds like crazy, but like he always laughs that I notice weird things. But all the birds were hanging out over near that waterfall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they weren't doing that the first time we were there. But this time, and there were all different colored birds. And then you were kind of telling me that the birds and the way that you guys do that is they're kind of are they naturally swapped out, or like when things get too large or mature, like how does that work?
Basically, the birds that we have within Life are on what we call a species survival plan. So a lot of the bird species, they're endangered. They've been rescued. These are animals that have grown up in sanctuaries and other places, and now they've come here. So what we're doing is we try to get a male and a female and basically do our part to help repopulate that species.
That's so cool, man.
And so as they get babies, and then they get shared with other organizations, and we're all doing our part to encourage conservation and propagate these very special species.
Well, you're doing a darn fine job.
Why, thank you, sir.
That exhibit is really, really awesome.
We are psyched about it. It is the largest, most ambitious exhibit we've ever done, and the Science Center's been around almost 70 years. So it's a big achievement for us, and we've been getting a great response. We're thrilled with the response to it, and just want everyone to come, check it out, be a part of it, and just see how things grow from here.
Max and Tommy were super excited in the ocean section where they got to touch horseshoe crab, because we talked about it a little bit, but there's an area where you could actually put your hands and touch a live horseshoe crab and other, I think maybe there's probably a starfish in there. I'm not, it'd be like, animals that you could actually touch, which is super cool for kids because
Totally cool.
in what other, what other place where you get to touch a horseshoe crab?
Yeah, we talk a lot about that in Life, about creating this opportunity, right? Giving people a chance to do something they may not get to do otherwise.
Right.
And we take for granted living in Florida. It's like, well, everyone's been down to the Everglades. Everybody goes to the ocean. But everybody doesn't. And for some people, this might be their first opportunity to touch a horseshoe crab or to touch a starfish or to see these kind of animals. And then you add on top of that rainforest exhibit, which has got all these plants and animals indigenous to the rainforest. How many of us get a chance to do that? And so it's been very cool.
Awesome.
So let's talk Astrofest. It's happening this weekend. So Spencer, tell us what Astrofest is.
Well, Life's great and everything, but space is the real science, right? That's what we're all here for. No, I'm kidding. Life is awesome, but space is my forte.
We
I
get
love space
Space
so
Daddy
much.
in here, so
Yeah,
slapping
exactly.
us around. Like, enough of these animals.
And we have like 2 months a year where I really get to celebrate. And July is one of those months. It's Space Month at the Science Center, Astronomy Month. And so basically all month long we're celebrating space, but Astrofest is like our biggest celebration. We bring on all space programming that we have, and we throw it on the floor, and we just run it all day long. And so if you love space, it's your time to do it. This year, we don't have any particular theme. We're not celebrating like Artemis specifically or the Martian landing specifically, which we've done in previous years. It really is about like just how we're exploring space right now. We've got a brand new theater show called To Infinity and Beyond, which is really, really cool. It talks all about how we explore space, and it's got robots and optics and all cool demos in there. We're going to be running like a space planetarium simulator thing all day long. Cool. We got all kinds of really cool stuff.
So is it possible, Spencer, to build a better telescope than we have now, but we would need like way more, I guess, cooperation worldwide. Like, because I feel like if all of humanity.
That'll never happen.
Well, I know, I know
what you're
that.
asking for is the impossible.
I
right?
know it'll never happen, but if it could happen, like, could we build the biggest mega telescope? Like, because I know there's something better than the Hubble. What's the
Webb?
The Webb,
yeah.
And then so. Could we build something 10 or 100 times better than the Webb, potentially?
Maybe we are.
To even look further into space or get a better idea of our entire universe.
The problem with scopes is that you have to build them specifically. You can't just be bigger, right? They're going to also target certain things, and so they're going to have like different field of views. They're going to have different wavelengths of light that they look at, and so the Webb's not just bigger. It's also looking at better light. It's looking at infrared light, and so it's seeing deeper into the universe, right? More redshifted stuff. And so we can definitely build more of those bigger telescopes. We can see more redshifts even if we go more into the infrared, or we look at different types of light like X-rays and gamma and stuff like that. So there's different kinds of scopes you can build, but the really exciting stuff, the stuff that I'm only just now learning about in the last couple of years, are like these arrays of telescopes, right? That's how we got the picture of the black hole, where you build four separate telescopes across the Earth, and then you effectively have a scope the size of the planet that is observing these really distant objects. It's the only way to actually see something.
It kind of feels like when you share files and you're stealing bits and pieces.
Exactly, yeah.
From all like
and
torrents.
they do that literally. I think.
Yeah, like torrent files. Like, I was reading about like how do they just kind of stitch the picture together?
They do, and they do it physically is the thing. They're not even digitally like sending these things. They got some guys in a briefcase in an airplane running around like physically delivering the physical data to someone so they can splice it together and become one giant telescope image. So what I want to see is we use the whole solar system, right? What's stopping us at the size of the Earth? You put stuff in the Lagrange points and like just around the Earth. You have an Earth orbit size telescope. Now we're looking at whatever we want. So we probably need a couple of countries on that one, more than just the U.S.
Yeah, and then computer networks to be linked up. So rather than having to bring the physical data, if there was a way to just have a pipeline that's only for the data.
Space internet.
That would be crazy cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was originally what the internet was made for, right? Like the military talking or email, they were using it to just push information quicker. Oh, that would be killer.
So let's talk conspiracy theory real quick.
These astronauts are never getting home. Is that what
you believe in
about?
astronauts?
Those astronauts are never getting home. Oh my God, I'm so scared.
Okay, all of those.
Oh, they're stuck up there.
Okay, before we go to the astronauts that are on the space
They don't
station,
talk about them anymore.
So but
they don't say a darn word about them.
But you kept mentioning that, and I read an article, and they were saying like,
no, we're just waiting until we figure it out.
Yeah,
it's
like,
fine.
And it's no big. Are you familiar with the story? So what are we looking at now with those astronauts on the space station?
Didn't Boeing lose the contract?
Last I read, which was 20 minutes ago when I was trying to read through some space news as you guys were talking.
Hey, that's what we do.
Yeah,
that's
right.
What we do.
It seems like they haven't lost the contract completely. No, they're still working on it, and they have people looking into. They said it was a helium leak or something, but they think they can fix it and everything. So as of now, both from NASA and Boeing, and they're all saying that like we're looking at days, maybe weeks, and they're gonna use the same spaceship that is currently docked at the ISS to go back down.
It's supposed to be there for 7 days.
Yeah,
hey,
a little longer.
There
if that thing doesn't work, though, that's a really weird concept, right? What do you do with like this rocket that doesn't work? Then they're actually stranded up there. That starts to get to the really exciting stuff. But I don't think it's gonna happen. They're probably just gonna come down.
They sent Bruce Willis up there.
Yeah, right.
Well, there's other companies like I did hear like SpaceX and stuff has
but
the
the
ability.
last thing you want to do if you're trying to get the contract is go to the other guy to rescue your failure. Oh my God, I'd rather let him die if I were. I'm like, let him die. No, I'm kidding. I'm done. That's a joke. But I'm just saying, wouldn't that be terrible? As a businessman, you're like, we're the worst at this.
Yeah, because SpaceX gets those contracts all the time. They bring people to the ISS. I'm pretty sure they've used rockets to get up there, right?
Yeah.
So. That would be an interesting concept and really not look good for Boeing. So hopefully they're probably all hands on deck right now for that one, aren't they?
So Spencer, the other conspiracy theory I wanted to talk about is the
moon cave.
We're
obsessed with the moon cave.
What's the name of that movie that is coming out or just came out about like the premise is they tried to
Tuesday. It's about the bird.
No. Oh. They were filming a fake moon landing just in case the real moon landing didn't happen, because they wanted to make sure like we're America, we can't lose, and then this was
Fly Me to the Moon.
So when they came out with this
couldn't
movie,
even think of that moon was in the name. Good job, Dan. Good job.
So to me, when this movie premise happened and I saw that, I was like, I bet you that this something like this actually happened, where they started like, we need some picture, like we may have to fake this if it doesn't happen because this is a political thing now and whatever. So then I think that they're like, and throughout time, some of those faked pictures were leaked, and that's why there's so many conspiracy theories, because some of those pictures are fake. But there are the real pictures, but the fake ones are now intermingled, where people are using the fake ones to be like, the moon landing was fake, but that was just created for marketing back then too, which
that's interesting.
Makes sense why this movie came out.
So they caused their own conspiracy by trying to protect the public. And filming something that never happened,
or even create. So Spencer, do you know anything about?
I don't
this?
know about this one specifically, but it is an interesting concept for sure, and would lead credence to it.
Yeah.
That's an interesting concept, right? Because if you're in the 60s, you're planning this like $1 billion project. You've got multiple spaceships ready to go, right? You're not just Apollo, whatever they were 13 that they're going to land there. They're going to have like 7 more, right? So you fake the first 2. We're going to get there eventually. We'll probably figure it out. I can see that line of thinking, but that seems a little certainly conspiratorial for sure.
Yeah. But I do think that maybe those pictures, like they didn't fake it, like it happened, but they had backup. But then
those got out.
Then those got out, and then that's what now it's causes. I mean, because people are it's still just as hot as ever about the landing on the moon conspiracy theory, even though like recently the news came out that they have, like, and I think they've done that. They've seen
they found the landing site,
but they found it before, right, Spencer? Like they've seen through a telescope, like you could see the rover. You could see like I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson talk about it one time, where you could see reflectors that they put up, like laser like reflectors.
I don't get my science from him. I'm Terrence Howard all day long.
And there's like actual proof. Like here's the reflectors. Yeah. We shoot a laser at it. It bounces back like that.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things, and we also have moon rocks on Earth that have came back from those missions, and so like you'd also have to have scientists from all over the different countries who have moon rocks saying like that they'd also be in on the conspiracy, right? So there's just so many people involved with it for sure. And there are the corner reflectors, what you're talking about, like a corner mirror. They're kind of cool. If you ever play with a corner mirror, it like always shows like a perfect reflection no matter where you're looking.
Okay.
So you put one of those on the mirror, no matter which angle you're at, you show the laser at it, it's going to bounce right back to you. And so yeah, you could get like a $1,000 laser and try it yourself if you want to prove it, but
and then it's like they were like, we found a cave up there near, and they're like, what's in the cave?
And then there was like the cave will be a perfect place for people to have a moon base.
Yeah.
Like I saw an article that said like, oh, this cave's perfect for a moon base. I'm like, how do you know that? Have you been in it? There could be a monster in there.
Yeah, I think the Decepticons.
How do you even know what's in it? You're just assuming because it's a cave. Oh, that's a great place for our moon base.
Well, there's nothing in there because the moon is just essentially part of Earth that broke off billions of years ago, and it's just a floating rock that there's nothing on. It's like, and there's never going to be anything found on that, right, Spencer?
It is part of the boring part of space. Is if you're going to go to all these planets and stuff, most of it is just rocks. You're not going to have a lot of interesting stuff. I
get really pumped about resources.
Yeah, resources are huge. You got
like
rocks,
when you tell me, oh, look at this,
iron.
look at this inert gas we found.
Ooh, yeah,
I'm like,
helium on the moon. Yeah, right.
I'm pumped.
That's why they do all these psych experiments for astronauts, right? Because you're going to be just bored out of your mind for 8 years, right? It's like these social experiments where you're trapped with the same 3 people in this little lava tube on the moon for 8 years because you can't be outside. You'll get cooked by the sun.
Yeah.
And so you have to just sit here. And, I assume that's pretty boring.
I think when Andrea met, my wife met an astronaut at some conference she went to, and they were kind of talking. And I believe he said something to her to the effect of, I don't have like a really outgoing personality because I'm an astronaut. Like it was basically like, I am an astronaut and this is all you're going to get.
Yeah.
I am calm, I'm logical, and I'm very boring. I'm a very boring person. I'm smart and I'm nice. I'm a good person,
right?
But I'm not going to win any career. I have no Riz.
And you put 3 of those guys in a tube together for 8 months.
Astronauts have zero, they have 0 Riz.
Well, it's like the saturation divers or anybody.
Same guy.
They're just they're human computers, and that's what you need to be to do this job. And so
she also said that he sat there during the boring parts of this particular conference they were at, and he was fine, just sitting there staring off and like he was
just
built.
thinking.
He goes to that same place he was on the moon.
Astronauts are like young, old old men, you know.
So, Spencer, since we now know how, or at least have an idea how big the universe is, I am totally bored of all our planets in our own solar system.
Totally.
Because it's all, I was like, we know about, and then I'm like, what, like, even the trillions of other planets, and they're still like, well, that's only a portion of what we do, and there's this huge percentage we don't know. So the mystery of all the different planets are what really fascinates me. And then there's like all the Earth-like planets that are out there that you hear stories about.
Yeah.
But it was like we don't know too much about them because they're so far. And so, is there any Earth-like planet that you know of, Spencer, that we know the most about that we actually have
like
information?
one we're studying
like,
right now?
There's probably like 80% chance there's oxygen on this planet or something similar to
Well, the
Earth.
premise you're talking about is pretty much the premise for every video game I play now.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
that
yeah.
you're in a ship and then they found this planet that has an 80% chance of having the same atmosphere as Earth, and you fly to it to repopulate it, and what are the fish out of water on the new planet, right?
Because you know what gets me is that when you see the story, they always have like a digital representation or what they think the planet's going to look like.
Yeah.
Because it's so far away that they're looking through, X-ray. Like they're like, we know this planet exists, but we only see the shadow of it from behind its sun. And then you're just like, but we, we think it's like this. So here's a digital picture of it.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh, well.
It's no different than what we do with mummies. It's like, this is what the mummy would have looked like. I'm like, whoa, look, it looks like me.
But then I'm like, I want to actually see it, but we're not there yet. And so I was like, and it will probably in my lifetime never actually be able to see.
Definitely
it,
not.
but
I think we've resolved some blurry smudges of planets.
Okay,
Does that help?
all right, okay. So blurry smudge is all we got, right?
You just got to block out the star, and then you got like those tiny blurry smudges to the side. You're right that the actual data of all this stuff is super boring. Like the scientists that are exciting. It was like when the web stuff was first coming out. Like all the space nerds were real stoked, right? And you could see that. People were getting thrilled about the images that were really pretty and everything, but like the true space nerds, there was like this graph that came out that just showed like the atmosphere composition of an exoplanet, and that was so many scientists' favorite one, and it was just a graph. But that's what the data is for exoplanets, and it's because, like you said, you're looking at the shadow, but more than that, you're looking at spectroscopy, which is really cool. It's the light going through the atmosphere, the sunlight of that exoplanet.
I have to have that this year. They changed the age.
No, come on.
I gotta have
Yeah,
what is it again?
Yeah.
What is it called
No,
again?
come on.
It's a
specopsy.
Spectroscopy, yeah.
Yeah, I gotta have that.
Yeah, make sure you drink
You get
that
that
weird
age,
Make you drink
milkshake.
the thing. Exactly.
Come on.
The light goes through the atmosphere, it bends in a little bit, and so you can see what the air is made out of. So you can literally, it's not just like a good chance that it has oxygen. You're like, this planet has oxygen and carbon dioxide. You can generally tell within reason how much is within there. So you can see there are Earth-like planets both in size and distance, and the atmosphere is the same. You can see water vapor in the atmosphere, so you can tell if there's water on the planet as well.
So this is where the conspiracy theories
my wife
happen.
just told me that she does a lot of What is this? What is it?
Spectroscopy. It's a great word.
Spectroscopy. That's
Nailed
what my wife. She goes. That's what I do for a living. I'm like, I didn't know that.
What?
I didn't know that.
How do you not know that?
Find something out, you learn something every day.
Every day.
Yes, you told me. You have no idea what
it
it
is.
is.
We do a lot of spectroscopy at my job.
Well, that's
her
what
job?
keeps your marriage exciting.
I don't know what her job is.
You don't know what your wife's job is?
Hell no, I don't know that.
What is she doing? Spectroscopy.
You can't say it either, you mother.
I can't even say it.
Spectroscopy.
There you go.
Oh, I finally said it. That's 1 for 8.
So, do you think? Okay, because going back to the conspiracy theory with the moon landing,
Yeah, anything to get away from spectroscopy.
The graphs and the specs.
So we have this data, right? But it's all in number form, and then like you said, the science nerds know what it means. So they're like, this means that this is an Earth-like planet that has oxygen, but it's all numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
then we're like, how do we show the dodos of the world?
Right.
And then they are like, well, let's just make a digital.
Make some parts green and some parts blue.
Yeah, let's just make a digital image image, using AI of a world that looks like Earth, and then we'll use that for the news story because we want to spread the news story, but these people won't look at the numbers and think it's interesting.
I only look at cartoons.
And then when all of us on the internet, we're like, oh, they found an Earth-like planet, and then we're looking at it, we're looking at the actual through a telescope, like, whoa, it looks like Earth, and then we read a little further, and we're like, oh, they're tricking us. This is not what they don't know what they're looking at. This is a fake. They're faking it.
So there is no picture. So you would feel better if they just said, "Hey, we think there's something there. We have the data to prove it, but we don't have any images of it." So.
No, but
we think it would look like this.
But they have to do something for marketing, and so
you got to make it exciting. That's been the biggest problem with science. We've talked about this before.
Yeah,
I think that is it is your job. It's the main problem with this is that it has to be a little sexy. It has to be cool.
And it's difficult because it's so hard to understand certain times and wrap your head around. So then
you got to draw the Earth.
So you dumb it down, draw the Earth, but then that causes problems because then people are like, oh, this is not real. Oh, it's all fake then, it's
right. All or nothing, and it's not like that.
That's a problem with science in general, right? You got the word theory that floats around, and everyone harps on that word theory so much, and the reality is, with most space stuff you're seeing, it's all some kind of fabricated. The web images I was talking about, some of my favorite things, almost literally cried when I saw them for the first time. There was also a little bit fabricated, right? There's colors added in. It's like 16 different images on top of each other. If you were to look at it with your eyeball, it looks like a smudgy white cloud. Well, really, it looks like nothing because it's so far away. In fact, it looks like infrared light. It looks like heat, so we wouldn't be able to see it at all. And so the telescope itself is literally creating this image that we humans can't perceive or think about or see. That happens all the time with space. But it's especially bad when you're looking at it with a literally completely fabricated image for sure. It's an interesting concept because we got to do something to keep people talking about space, right?
When Ted Turner started colorizing classic movies, my dad was livid. I mean, wanted to take the TV and throw it out the window.
Wow.
Real mad about it. You don't go in there and take black and white images and just assume you know what color things are.
How about the sound ones? Have you guys seen the sonograph? I don't know if that's not the right word, but there's a word that you can visualize with hearing astronomy stuff, so you can look at the data of a black hole but hear it, right? And so this helps vision impaired people to perceive data for one, but also it allows them, because they obviously have different ways of thinking, to maybe even find data that visual people aren't going to see.
Yeah, I remember this. You want to hear what a black hole sounds like, T?
Yeah.
All right, here, let's see.
Okay.
I think this is what a black hole would.
This is the same as what we would see with our eyeballs, right? It's just the data that comes from a scope, but turned into audio instead of visual.
Here we go. That is what I think a black hole would sound like. That sounds exactly like a black hole to me.
See, if I was doing the marketing of this, I'd be like, we need to zhuzh it up a little bit.
Let's add some laser sounds or something.
And you'd be like, bring in Method Man. He's going to rap over the black hole.
Let's add some drum beats.
Exactly.
Well, you put in a Godzilla a little bit. Like one Godzilla roar. And that'll get...
Can I get a hey, yay? Put one of those in there. Put a hawk tuba in there. You hide little subliminal messages in there.
You try to make it better. And then that's what causes and then they find out it's fake, and they're like, oh, it's all fake. They're like, no, but the original one was real. I just tried to make it better. Anyway,
I think that sounds like a black hole to me. Right?
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Yeah. It's an interesting concept because that to us, because, we're such visual people with our eyeballs, that doesn't do as much to us, but that is just as useful as a visual image of a black hole because it's the same thing. It's just data that, our eyeballs didn't see turned into a thing that we can perceive.
Yeah, the chat room agrees. They also think that sounds pretty black hole-y. I think that, also that, if it were pitch black in here and you guys weren't here and I was alone and I heard that, I'd be terrified.
Well, yeah.
If you started hearing that noise.
Would you think it was a black hole? Would you be able to pull that out of a
No, I think it was a monster. I think it was a monster.
Black holes are monsters.
I would think it would.
It's the real monsters of the universe.
You're right. It is. The black hole is a monster.
Yeah.
That'd be what if a black hole became self-aware?
We can workshop that.
And started devouring the universe. That's a terrifying movie.
Coming next summer.
That's a terrifying movie.
Also, another image that is not that impressive because you can't actually get an image of it because it sucks in light too. So there's So then there's this is the kind of the image of what it would look like, and because we have, and
you hate kindness.
We had images of black holes, though. That one's real. That one is an actual
Oh,
image because
really?
that comes from the very large array, that array of telescopes I was talking about. That
Okay.
the best case is like the black hole images we have, and it's like that orangey donut looking thing you guys have probably seen. It came out like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a few different black holes. Those are actual images. It's a little bit different.
So okay, so that is an actual image of black. I always thought that they were just like.
you know,
Oh,
it's an image.
oh, you're doing it again.
It's an
Spencer.
image of the whole thing, the system, right? The black hole you obviously can't see. What you're seeing is the accretion disk around the black hole. So are you seeing the black hole?
Oh, okay,
No.
yeah.
You're seeing the activity of the black hole?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
seeing the result, the hot plasma
Is that
gas
good enough for
goes
you?
around it.
Well, that's not the same.
Yeah, you can't literally see a black hole.
I know. That's why I want to see the swirling in my
Yeah.
cartoon,
Yeah.
because again, most humans don't understand it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back when I was a
You
kid,
don't
the only
understand.
thing I was taught about black holes was if I were sucked into one, I would be splattered. Like that, it was very simplistic.
Spaghettified.
Yeah,
Oh,
it would be
yeah.
like if you go right in, you're gone.
Yeah, but then there's a theory that there's something on the other side.
Yeah.
That somehow you come out on the other side of the universe. What is that thing? Or it's like
A white hole.
Okay, the white hole.
You wouldn't come out
I've
as
seen
Dan,
the
though.
white hole.
That's-
Don't come on.
I've seen the white hole, and it
Come
is
on.
bad.
You
bad.
don't want
Alright.
to come out.
No, thank you. Zach, thank you, Jeff.
Again, Astrofest, OSC.org,
Yeah, man.
Orlando Science Center. Just become a member. If you
The
have
science
kids,
of Guinness, you've got life, you've got Astrofest. I mean, there's always something going on.
Yeah,
And
honestly, if you don't go, it just seems weird at this point.
Yeah,
it just
no,
seems
no,
weird not to
100%.
go.
yeah.
if you like science, if you have kids, I mean, the Science Center is unbelievable for all age kids, and then once you're a member, you go there. You can't see it all in one day.
I'm very
So,
grateful.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
very
the goal.
grateful that we had you guys when I had a little, and it made parenting a lot easier.
Oh, yeah.
It really, really did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jeff, anything else we want to throw out there?
Hey, we appreciate you guys letting us come over,
Always.
and also, that you've gotten to see this stuff, and because when we talk about it, they're like, well, of course you guys love it. You work there, so it's great to hear that you have enjoyed it, and it's meant something to you and your
Oh,
families.
It's killer, man.
I've been taking my sons there since they were 1 year old. It's like for the past 9 years we've been going.
Yeah, I the vacuum machine with the scarves that you have in that air. Like I have spent more time there than any other place in the Science Center. I stood there with Maisie for hours upon hours, just putting.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, like with a little kid, it's the greatest thing.
It's like actual magic, right? They're just
Yeah.
like in a room full of magic. You can see it in their eyes.
It's
awesome.
incredible. But sign up, be a member, and take advantage of all that they have to offer.
Yeah, and this weekend we got Astrofest, July 20th and 21st, all kinds of cool stuff you'll only see this weekend. We look forward to seeing you there.
Awesome. We will be right back.
Awesome, guys. Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be all right. Because I can trim the other one. We're fine.
Cool.
Talk too much.
No, you're good. You're good. Thank you, guys. That was perfect.
No, thank you guys.
Thank you indeed.
Thank you for being here. Have a good rest of your day.
Absolutely.
I'll do my best.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Where's that one go, T?
That will be Friday's new one. I'll
We'll move the other one. Gotcha.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
No, anytime. Thanks. Good to see you guys.
Yeah,
and have
nice
a great
to see
weekend.
You too. Take care.
Catch you next time.
See ya, Spencer. 28 Friday.
Oh, Jeff. Sorry about that. I knew that was going to.
I didn't break anything.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
All right.
I apologize.
No worries.
Oh, I didn't have the camera on that. That would have been pretty funny to watch you guys trying to kill our.
Yeah, I knew I should have moved this.
Yeah, it's fine. All right, guys. I guess we're going to lunch now, and